your latest album, Hestia, has been out for about a week now. How's the reception been so far?
Really good, really good. Yeah, so it came out, exactly 1 week ago today, and it's still getting, some kind of feedback from friends and the general public. And in short, it's been really good, really positive. It's been quite exciting too, because, it's not just been when people say the songs that they like and whatnot, it's not just been the 3 singles or the ones we would expect or whatnot. It's been quite varied over the 14, 15 songs. So it's been really good to hear what songs are kind of standing out to different people from around the world. And it's it's been really, really nice this last 7 days, getting some good, honest feedback as well too from people. And it's 99.99% positive and really decent of people. Yeah.
You also have a new singer, Mike. My question, I guess, is how did you meet? Because he really fit your style, and he gave a nice touch to the album. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you as well too. So, Mike, how do we meet Mike? Well, first of all, I knew of Mike. A friend of mine told me about his band, Mickey Rickshaw, in Boston. You should check him out. So I did. This was years and years and years ago. I was still living in Australia, and put it on, and they did a cover of a band I really like, Roaring Jack, Destitution Road, and that really stood out. So I always remembered I liked them, and then I think I became friends with them online. And then almost 4 years ago to the day, the band, the Rumjacks, we went to America for a kind of about 3.5 weeks. And we played a show in Boston, right near where his band Mickey Rickshaw were based, and they ended up playing one of the shows the next night in a different town. But we met up with them in Alston, just the kind of outside of Boston there, and we had a few drinks with them and hung out, and then played with them a few nights later. Great guys, really lovely people. And then about 2 years later, we played with them in Germany. We were able to do a show with them as well. So yeah, so we knew of Mike, we knew of the band, we were fans of his band, and then we kind of created a little bit of a friendship. And I was in America at the beginning of last year, and completely by accident, we ended up being me and our manager ended up staying across the street from him in an Airbnb. So we hung out. We did like a little video at his house, and yeah, it was through his band, and then we kind of formed a friendship, and then it was the obvious choice to ask him.
Nice. How did the dynamic of the band change? I mean, you had a new songwriter writing for the first time with you.
Yeah, I think dynamically anything changed first was when we the dynamics changed between the 5 of us as individuals before it became the 5 of us musically. So Mike joining the band really, really injected a lot of positivity. We, like I said, as the other 4 members realized again the fun of music, making music, creating it, ideas, the process behind it, everything, recording it, from like a voice memo on a phone to, pressing record and doing your final takes. There was a lot more positivity, enjoyment, and good energy brought there by Mike. So I'm not going to say, it's a positive sounding album and it's all happy and this and that. Or if it comes across in the album, I don't know. That's kind of up to other people to kind of assume. I
wouldn't call it happy.
No, I wouldn't at all.
It's not a happy album, but I get what you mean.
We were in a much more positive place mentally, and like I said, if that's come across in the album, then fantastic. But yeah, the dynamic changed with us, like I said, kind of emotionally and mentally before it did musically with Mike. And then yeah, we experienced his writing style, what it was like to work with him, and I think that was the easiest part. Mike's extremely talented, and he's really enthusiastic, lots of energy. He loves music. He likes writing songs, and we were more than happy to kind of be surrounded with that kind of personality.
That's really beautiful, if you ask me. And you recorded the album basically in lockdown. What was the biggest challenge that you've had to face?
Well, before it, the biggest challenge was getting 5 people from 5 different countries into the one city at the same time during a global pandemic. So our manager had a slight breakdown, I think, with the logistics of that. But yeah, the 2020 summer, there was a few restrictions were lifted, and look, basically all the stars and moons aligned, and we were able to get every member from every country to get to Milan. So that was the most obvious one, I guess. First was physically being able to get together and do it. You know, it's strange. Like, a lot of bands live in the same towns as each other. You know, I know bands that are in the same town as each other haven't written a single song. It's really strange, but you know, we got together and we did Hestia. So that would be the most obvious one. But then, like I said, it was quite easy working with Mike. It seemed like he was kind of in the band forever. Like, it was really odd, like how quickly it was comfortable, and not in like a complacent way, but like in a really good way. So yeah, getting all 5 of us together, hardest part. The rest was just really natural.
How did this whole situation affect the writing and recording process, other than you guys being in the same place? I mean, we have technology now. Anyone can record at home and send the demo over.
Yeah, so a lot more homework, if you will, was done before we met up normally. So none of us arrived in Milan at the same time. It was kind of one by one over about 3 to 4 weeks. So before any of us landed in Italy, the writing had begun. So yeah, like you said, we all have our instruments, we all have technology. It's, you know, a blessing and a curse many times, but this is a blessing for us. You know, we have a guitar idea, a little riff, send it over to Mike, send it to the guys. Adam's, you know, got a bouzouki line, away we go, you know. So we were sharing ideas months before we were going to get together. So we had a head start for sure. I think we had, I'd say, about 7 songs completed, like structured, you know, verses, choruses. It was just going to be the fine tuning, which you would do when you got together anyway, like in a rehearsal room. So we were really confident at about 7 of them. So that's like a big chunk of an album already done. And then when we got there, it was basically a free-for-all. Any more ideas right in front of each other in the one room. We spent a lot of time on pre-production, which we previously haven't done a lot of. It might have been due to we were touring quite a lot and just time restraints, but you know, this time, because of COVID, there were basically no shows, so we did have a lot more time. Yeah, then it was a group effort. We all got together, we sat around, and we lived in the same apartment together for 3 months. So we were always talking, discussing ideas, working every day. So yeah, a lot of homework before we arrived, with a good kind of solid start to Hestia. And then when we got together, it was, yep, all ideas on the table and went with what we got.
That's lovely. And being Greek myself, I am familiar with the goddess Hestia, but what was it about her that inspired you to name the album after her? I mean, she's not the most prominent figure in the Greek mythology. Not many people even know about her.
Exactly. I think you raise a good point there too. Hestia, a lesser known Greek goddess, you know, like there's all the big famous ones that are out there we all know about, most know about, I guess. But as far as I'm aware, with Mike wrote the song Hestia. The song came before the album being titled that. So a lot of people are drawing their own meanings from Hestia, the song. You know, a strong woman, you know, standing up, fighting for what's hers, fighting back, showing strength, resilience. Hestia, the Greek goddess, home and hearth. And, you know, it's, I think people can put that combination together how they want. We do want people to take from that what they will, you know, and form their own opinions. We're not definitely not throwing it down their throat of like, this is what it means and this is the symbology and whatnot as well too. Like I said, we've heard of a few that people are doing, and that's fine. You take what you want from the songs, but yeah, Hestia, the title, definitely came after Hestia, the song. So we thought it was a strong representation as well too, a character, and the song as well was quite a standout song for us. We thought would definitely probably come across on the album quite strong. So yeah, draw a bit more attention to it with titling the song as well, titling the album as well. So
yeah, and this leads me to the next question. I should probably be asking Mike about this, but I'm hoping you can answer me. You touch a lot lyrically on personal issues and also some social issues as well. How important is it for you to raise awareness on certain subjects, especially in the times that we live in?
Yeah, that's definitely one I think Mike could answer better. But in regards to kind of that blend between touching on political issues, social issues, personal issues, I can only say for Mike or songwriters in general, I guess it's whatever is being experienced in that person at that time, or what they do want to express, you know. Like you said as well too, there's very personal ones on the album for Mike with zero political meaning, zero nothing else but personal experiences, like Goodnight Make Men, so a very strong story about the loss of his friend. Yeah, I know, it's a beautiful song, and that was a bit different for us to do that one as well too. So I know for him writing it, it meant quite a lot, you know. It's again, I don't think a lot of intention, I don't want to speak for him, goes out like, oh, I want people to, you know, remember their lost friends and this and that. He was paying homage to a friend and sharing a moment he had with another human that was sadly taken away from us all. So yes, there's that freedom, I guess, of expression, you know. This is a personal account, or this is something I'm feeling socially that might be, you know, happening at the moment, or an old kind of like stories, you know, like Bullhead is that, you know, a bit more historical things in there. So yeah, I would say, like I said, without being a songwriter or a lyricist for any of these songs myself, I would say it's that kind of social environment, whether it's, like you said, it comes across a personal experience or story, or what's going on at the moment, you know. Like I said, some people have taken Hestia and adapted some meanings to it. I know it was getting played in Poland quite heavily about some women's rights issues there. And like I said, the song wasn't designed to throw that down anyone's throat on, you know, this is what it means, and this is our kind of point we're getting across. But if they listen to those lyrics and that resonated with them, then that's absolutely perfect. That's what it was intended for.
With touring at a halt, how do you manage to stay creative?
I guess it's hard. It's good and bad in two ways. So in a good way, you have more time to pick up a guitar, to run through old songs, muck around on guitar more, and learn new things and come up with new things. So yeah, you have that. When you're touring quite heavily, you don't. You're playing 6 nights a week or traveling, and then you might only get 2-3 weeks off, and you're doing it again. And you know, sometimes the last thing you want to do is pick your guitar up. Like you just want to break. So so there's that impact. Like I said, it kind of gives you a bit more time to do that and write. Yes, we just released an album, but we are still writing. For when and what, who knows? So you know, but we have that time and that luxury now. But we do miss touring a lot. It does affects a lot of things. Like it definitely, well, what's happening around the world at the moment is affecting everyone. No one's really untouched by this, you know. For a band like ours that did tour so much, it is a very, very what's the word? Like it hit us kind of hard, and it changed our normality. We're just always moving, we're always traveling, always touring, and of which we love, and then that kind of immediately stops. So that took a long time to actually adjust to being in one place for any length of time. Yeah, it's really strange. And like I said, when you first start touring like that, it takes you a while to get used to that, and then you get used to that, and then it stops. So it's very strange. But touring also affects and it is hard work. Touring, you get to see see people, meet people, experience things, experience cultures. It might be the littlest things that you don't actually realize at the time. And then, you finish tour and you look back like, oh, remember that weird night in that weird town, and I spoke to that lovely person at that weird bar, and you remember these strange things, these life experiences that you may not ever have again, or have had if you didn't play music and be in a band and tour and work hard at it. So that really was a blow as well too. So that it affected me mentally. I know that much, where those things and interacting with people and being with people and performing every night, it really hurt to not be able to do that again, like I said. So that's probably the biggest hit in regards to not touring, except for having way more time on your hands to be creative and write more music, but you got to do what you got to do, eh? No one can help this at the moment. So.
And also the fact that you just released an album doesn't mean that all the songs are new. You have been working on songs for like a year or two, I'm guessing, before you actually record them. So it makes perfect sense that you're already working on new music.
Yeah, for sure as well too. And like what we did when we were in Milan was, look, we didn't know what was going to be coming up, if there's going to be tours by the end of last year or the beginning of this year, which obviously it's looking like it's not. We didn't know when we would all be sitting in the same room together, whether that's before we jump up and play a gig in whatever city, in whatever country around the world, or we would be sitting in there writing and recording again, So when we were there in the summer, that was just our mentality: do as much as we possibly could together, because we didn't know when we would again. And it's kind of the same apart from being in the same room with each other. We just got to keep working. It's a strange time for bands. A lot of, like, obviously the music industry has changed a lot, and live music for touring, like bands, heavily touring bands, is a very important thing. What keeps a lot of musicians afloat and getting around day to day. You can't just rely on record sales these days. It's a whole different ball game. So it's a hard slug, but you got to go with what's given. It's not. We're not unfortunate. Every band is unfortunate, because no band is unaffected by this. So you just got to work with what you got. And if that means, an iPad and a guitar plugged in, then that's what you got to do for now, until we're given a better option. So you're always going to write music. You're always going to come up with ideas. You're going to write like a little stupid riff or something. Like you'll always do that. But this definitely has given more time to do that. So look, we can't play gigs. We're still going to do interviews. We'll still write music. We'll still share ideas and do what we can. And once we get all back together, we'll do even more as well.
Would you ever consider doing a live stream show?
We've been asked that. Yes, we've considered it 100%. Again, all five of us live in 5 different countries, so very difficult for that. But I think with the live stream shows with bands, I completely get why they're doing it. I've watched many of them, and some of them are absolutely great, a really good insight, and some of them are done very, very well. And they're quite entertaining. Happily pay the few bucks to, you get the 24 hours or 48 hours, you get to watch it. And they are entertaining. Like, you're sitting at home, and how many reruns of something you can watch on Netflix in a day. And then, a band puts in an effort and does a live stream and, really does well with it. But there's been in my opinion, there's been a fine line between the really good ones and the really horrible ones. It's, look, I understand as a band playing in front of cameras in an empty venue, trying to look like they're giving you a genuine performance. Which again, I totally get and understand, but there is, to me, a fine line of it just being awkward or just being awesome. So we would happily do it. Yeah, we tried to make plans for it, and then we had to leave Milan and whatnot, and obviously, like I said, we can't get back together now, but maybe one day in the future, we would much rather be playing live, like to real people. But again, bands are just doing what they can at the moment, whether it's look, we had our album launch, and I sat in my kitchen, the boys sat in their rooms, and we had beers and looked at a computer screen. Not what we wanted to do, but we loved it, and you got to do something. You got to keep You got to keep working, whether you can get in a van and tour or not. You just always got to keep working.
I'd love to see a live stream, to be honest. I think it would be amazing, especially with your energy when you play. I can't even imagine how that would be, televised. But yeah, I'm
Well, look,
hoping
one day,
in the future.
like I said, if we can't play gigs, we'll definitely be together recording or doing something. So if the five of us are in the same country, in the same city, and all we can do is a live stream, we'll do a live stream. No problems there.
Awesome. Now, before I head to the very hard questions, I wanted to address the song Lizzie Borden, and why did you choose to do a song that, at least this theme feels different than the rest of the album? And it was a very unusual choice for me.
Yeah, Mike brought that song to us. Now, it's kind of a New England song where he's from, that part of America. That song was formed off a nursery rhyme.
I know. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, so as you've heard in there, that nursery rhyme is said. So that was kind of put to us through Mike, and he put it over a little bit of music, and it sounded pretty badass. And we were like, I'd never heard it. Honestly, I'd never heard that nursery rhyme. I was like, oh, maybe it's just an American New England thing, but I'd never heard of it, never ever heard of it. And then we got told the story, and it was like, it's pretty dark, like pretty dark kind of a thing. And looked a little bit further into it, and it's kind of like, you're right. It's a bit more gruesome, if you will, on that kind of a level, and a bit more of an aggressive song for sure, for sure. But the intent wasn't to like it just was what it was. Kind of like, here's, like a lot of nursery rhymes, strangely enough, have really dark meanings to them. Like, that's not the only one. Like,
that's
is
an very true, one. Actually.
Yeah, like there's there's plenty of nursery rhymes that are quite dark, but that is obviously a very much more of a bolder statement about hacking someone to death with axes, but a wild story, I think, like just a crazy story. And
sorry, technically, I think it was a hatchet, not an axe. And,
yes, yeah.
Lizzie Borden delivered about 60-something blows to her stepmom. Not 40.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's okay.
Wild, yeah. I know Mike was saying there's a movie that was based on it as well too, which was quite factually incorrect. But like I said, I only heard of this nursery rhyme and this story in the summer last year. So I'm definitely worth due to research it a bit further. But I heard a lot of things too that, like, Lizzie Borden was quite, she was abused by her parents as well too. So there was this kind of idea of revenge, and a boiling point kind of moment. And then, you savagely kill your parents, so I've heard of that and whatnot as well too. But and then the court cases and all the rest that happened around it, and innocent, guilty, all that kind of stuff. So again,
and you dive into the conspiracy theories as well.
Yes, exactly right. Another one that kind of leaves it quite open to the listener as well. But like I said, probably very ignorantly of me, I'd never heard the story of Lizzie Borden until Mike showed us the nursery rhyme and we put music to it.
What is the weirdest thing someone has done while you played? I remember back in 2017 in Athens, someone threw a bra on stage.
Yeah, that's happened.
I have a picture.
I wouldn't say that's the weirdest. I'm trying to think. We've had a few people like dance around naked, like mosh around naked in front of the stage. That one was in Dortmund, Germany. We played this is it's not so much weird, it was just we're not used to it, but we played in a town called Bra, B-R-A, in Italy. Now, once a year they have a cheese festival. The whole town celebrates the cheese of the area, and it's all decorated lovely. And we got there, and it was this beautiful, beautiful town. And the stage was surrounded by flowers, like all around the front at the fallbacks, with these beautiful bunches of flowers, which about 5 minutes after playing, all ended up basically on stage and in pieces. So we've never technically had flowers thrown on stage for us, but that was the closest that's ever came. But again, flowers, that's quite nice. But yeah, playing a cheese festival in Italy and having flowers line the stage was definitely a first for us.
For a lot of people, I assume.
Yeah, I don't think the crowd was, half of them knew exactly what to expect and like came to watch us. The other half were like families and children, and like I said, it was a really beautiful town and enjoying a cheese festival. Like a nice little Sunday afternoon, go out and sample different cheeses from around the country all in one spot, and then this punk band plays down the end of the town center with flowers being thrown at them. So it was definitely a first experience for us. It hasn't happened since.
Okay, now for the very difficult questions.
Uh-oh.
If the Rumjacks were members of the Spice Girls, what would be your Spice names?
Oh, wow. All right. Mine would be like Sleepy Spice, because I seem to always fall asleep very easily, especially when I'm drinking. The other night, actually, I was at my friend's house on St. Patrick's Day. He lives up the road, and he was cheeky, and I had a glass of whiskey and Coke in my hand, and I'd fallen asleep holding this whiskey and Coke on my knee, and I slept like that for like 6 hours. Woke up with a glass of whiskey in my hand. So Sleepy Spice, I'll take that one. Mike, he's like, okay, I'll go get back to mine. Gabriel, Quiet Spice. That man never talks, ever. He's the kindest, most gentle, quiet man in the world. Quiet Spice. So he would be the Spice boy, if you will, that didn't actually sing. Like he would be in the band but be a member but wouldn't sing because he just doesn't even talk. Adam, Stoner Spice. That one tells itself. Pietro, Italian Spice. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I've never been asked something like that. Oh no, Tiny Spice. Tiny Spice. He's the smallest. He's a very small man, but a very big personality, a very big heart too. So Tiny Spice. And what do we got? We got Mike left. He'd be quicker at this than I am. I don't know. Boston Spice. What's that? I don't even know. Just from where he's from. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the best. Like, off the cuff, that's the best I got.
Okay, your house is on fire, and you only have time to grab 3 items before you leave. Pets and family are safe. What do you take?
3 items. I take my iPad. I take my guitar, and I would take my wallet. I guess I could get away. I could sort the rest out after that.
Would you take shoes?
Well, I'm assuming I'm fully dressed. Because if I wasn't, then that would be, wow, yeah, I'd have to get some item of clothing, wouldn't I? iPad, wallet, and jacket. Or maybe trousers is probably the best thing. But yeah, assuming I'm fully dressed, I'd say my iPad, wallet. What else did I say?
Your iPad and your guitar.
And my guitar. Yep, I think those 3 things I could get back on my feet afterwards.
Amazing. Well, we are done here. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for taking photos at our shows. And thank you for writing such lovely reviews for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
And whatnot. We do very much appreciate it. And we would love to get back to Greece. Every time we've been there, it's been fantastic. And some of our fondest memories are there too as well. Look, we recorded a live album there as well. So we would love to get back there. So we're trying, but we're going to leave that one up to the government gods to tell us what we can do or not. Time to probably go play guitar and stare out the window at all the closed shops. But thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it a lot, and I'm sure I'll see you when we get back over to Greece.
Yes, definitely. Take care.
Okay.